Okay, so the next thing for us to talk about is some sort of hearing system, right? Whether it be speakers or headphones or something to where you can hear yourself, okay? Now, as I'm talking to you, I have some speakers over on the side of me to where I can hear myself when I play, okay? Now, when I'm talking, I don't really need to hear my voice coming out of the speakers, but if I do this, I can't hear my guitar at all. So I might want to actually be able to hear my guitar. So what I want to just explain to you a little bit is speakers versus studio speakers, computer speakers versus studio speakers versus headphones. And it doesn't matter, okay? When you buy a computer, oftentimes you purchase what we call computer speakers, okay? Computer speakers tend to have a built-in kind of pre-EQ built into them that helps to make the music that we listen to sound better, bigger, all these things, okay? When you get into recording, and again, this is kind of a deep dive thing that we don't really need to worry about right now, but you can buy what's called studio speakers, powered studio speakers. And what those are speakers that people use in professional music studios, okay, or home recording studios like we're doing, okay? And these speakers are meant to not have that pre-EQ, that pre-frequency element built into them. They're meant to sound very flat when you record. Now, the downside to studio speakers are if you use your computer for lots of different things, including, you know, listening to music and different things like that, studio speakers, studio monitors can sometimes sound a little bit, they're not as bassy, and they don't have as much mid-range and all these things that a normal computer speaker might have. Now, when you first start getting started in this whole thing, I just want you to be able to hear yourself. So I'm not telling you to go out and buy $500 studio monitors versus the computer speakers that you already have. Okay, you could just as well use a set of headphones, which I know I just had a pair around here. I'm not sure what I did with them, but you could just run a pair of headphones. So again, people will tell you, you need to go out and buy studio headphones, and you need to buy $139 headphones, and you need to buy studio monitors, and they should be $800, and maybe you do, but maybe you don't. Okay, maybe you just run a set of headphones out of this thing, out of your interface, or you run your computer speakers out of this thing, or whatever it is you need to do to be able to hear yourself, just to get started. Again, don't get lost in the weeds. But understand that those are really the two main things, is either you're using speakers or you're using headphones, okay? Now, what are the benefits of headphones? Well, obviously, it's quiet to everybody else. You can be as loud as you want in here, and they're not going to hear you out there, okay? Headphones tend to sound different than speakers, right? If you've ever thrown on a set of headphones and went, wow, this song sounds way different through headphones than it does through my speakers, yeah. And a lot of times when we're home recording, we like to hear that. We like to hear what they're going to sound like in there, okay? But again, there are a lot of variables here. That's why I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to convince you that you need something you don't. I'm just telling you, you need to hear yourself. So like right now, I'm going to show you this real quick. This UR242 that I've been talking about over here, okay? We already talked about how I adjusted everything here, but you can't hear it. Well, let me show you this really quick. Now, this is as big as this little guy gets here, but this is the software that comes with the UR242. And you can see as I'm talking, check, 1, 2, check. You can see my volume level there of my voice. Well, watch this. So right there, you see the volume level of my guitar. Check, 1, 2. See that? Okay, but you can't hear it. So if I come down here, though, and I hit this little mute button, now listen. Okay. Now, you are literally hearing this guitar plugged directly into this interface going into that computer. So there's no amp. I'm literally plugged direct. So there's nothing fancy happening here, okay? But I am making sound. I've adjusted my gain so I'm not overdriving the signal, okay? And I can hear it through my monitors now. Now you'll notice again, if I go back to that, if I turn off the monitor, if I mute that channel, there's still sound coming in. You see that? You can see that little LED on top lighting up there. See, there's still sound coming in. It's just I can't hear it until I hit that mute button. And now I can hear that. Okay? So whatever you buy may or may not have that kind of software. And there's a reason for this as we keep going. But eventually when I run into my recording software, which is the next thing we're going to be talking about here, I may not want to monitor this dry guitar signal. I want to monitor it with an amp or with an amp simulator or whatever to give me those guitar tones that you've heard me play a million times in my videos. Okay, those are coming from a couple of different places, and we're going to talk about all the different things that I use. Okay, but right now you can hear my guitar because it's rolling through these speakers, so you can hear what I'm doing. So it's important for us to be able to do that, okay? So that's understanding that some sort of monitoring system, whether it's computer speakers or studio monitors, and again, I wouldn't get caught up in all that right now. A regular pair of computer speakers, as long as they can plug into this somehow. They either plug into the back, or they plug into the headphone jack, or whatever it is that you're doing, just some way of you being able to hear yourself is a good place to start, and then worry about the rest of it later, okay?